I appreciate you all making a good effort to stick to the 10-minute limits, but you might have gone over a tad. And if we need to run into the tea break a little bit, we will, but we've got time for some questions, I think. Fareed, do you have a mic?
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Dustin, EDF. For Harlisa, it seems that over time, the government has grown their interest in the project, grown their collaboration in the project. As they've seen this, Veracatch ER app as like a proof point that ER could work, is there an interest in them taking ownership over this data collection process? What are the next steps?
Thank you for your questions. The next step for our effort, after we sharing the result and learn a lot from the electronic reporting that provided by. Yeah.
I think you're okay.
Okay. Yeah. Provided by Veracatch. We are trying to strengthening or transferring all of the knowledge that we got to the government system. As we know, in Indonesia, their e-logbook system also well established, but currently just used by the bigger vessel under 30 gross tons. So to make the tools feasible to be used for the small-scale fishery, I mean the vessel under 5 gross ton, we proposing to have a simplification of the data form, and they already accommodated on the beta versions, and currently we are on working to testing the beta version of their application. So ensuring the government and local community buy-in is one of key success to continue our work on the ground. Thanks.
Yeah, we have one here.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for all of your presentations. I have actually questions for each of you, so if it's okay. For Harlisa, I have a question regarding the MPA. Is it open? Are there restrictions? And how did the fishers feel about cameras being set up? For Sarah, I have a question. So there was a lot of talk about field agents, and this is a question I kind of had for everyone who uses this method. If they leave, is there trust being built in the company rather than the individual agents themselves? Because obviously if they leave and there's trust in the agent, then maybe the fishers won't want to respond to a new person. And then for Kelly, I have a question regarding the hard cap. How was it enforced? And when this originally started, did it cause an issue with fishers taking on observers on board? So thank you, and sorry for all the questions.
Yeah, I can start to answer your questions. Thanks. Regarding to the MPA that the MMF just issued this year, basically consists of 2 zones. So one zone for the core zone, it means that it's restricted to do any more fishing activities, and the other zone is limited utilization zone. The fisher can go fishing, but with some requirement. At the first, because we already built the enabling conditions in this context, we already working together with the community group, specifically fisher group, and we just ask permission, like we want to see where the specific location that they go fishing. Besides these tools, we also already know the fishing ground based on the interview that our enumerator do every day. Because this year the MPA just established, and the surveillance mechanism still on developing. But for your information, before the MPA issued by the government, a lot of public consultation that we did with the local community. So the local community already aware that this location is a potential location for the protecting the juvenile crab. Thanks.
Yeah, so when it comes to field agents, there's two different solutions within Cultiva. In cases like our clients, bigger clients like Cargill and Nestle, they have their own agronomists and field staff in the field that they use our application. So in terms of socialization and trust and onboarding, I'm not sure, I can't speak on that. But in projects where we employ our own field agents, we have cluster leaders that control some field agents within a project, and we source our field agents from the community that have experience or education within that particular product or that commodity itself. So yeah, socialization is a key step before we start any project, and we do provide detailed training, master training to our field agents, who then relay that training to the farmers and that socialization to farmers. So trust is needed, and in the case if a field agent leaves the project, there's also that cluster leader in the field as well that has socialized along with the field agent, that's familiar with the farmers in the area. So it's not like just the field agent leaves and there's no one else. It's that cluster leader that can provide the support and the socialization if a new field agent joins the project later in the project. Thank you. Hope that answers your question.
So your question was about enforcement of the cap on Chinook bycatch and how that related to onboard observers and how the fleet felt about onboard observers. So the National Marine Fisheries Service is constantly monitoring the total amount of pollock caught in the fishery and the total amount of Chinook. And again, before they were using that extrapolated observer data to calculate salmon bycatch numbers. So once using their equation, that number hit the cap, then the fishery was closed, and because there's fairly rigorous enforcement, the processors know they're not going to buy any fish. There's a lot of, very high penalties for fishing during a closure, so everyone takes it very, very seriously there. And I think, yes, again, unfortunately, where there's not 100% observer coverage, where somewhere like there is a hard cap on Chinook, there are incentives, to not have those fish counted towards your cap. So really, the best solution, and again, in this case, was 100% coverage, and the fleet saw how that was in their interest as well. They didn't want a closure. I think a number of them, didn't want to hide salmon as well. So in this case, it was a good outcome getting that 100% coverage using EM.
We got one here.
Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask question to Ibu Harlisa. So I was caught by one of your data that on the core zone of the MPA, the tracking of the vessel that some of the vessel actually enter the core zone. So I was wondering is how effective so far the tracking system for the vessel, and if there are any vessel that enters the core zone, are there any action from the MPA management unit on the trespassing vessel? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. So basically the MPA just established this year, and the management plan inside the MPA as well as the surveillance mechanism is still under developing. But the potentially in the future for by using this tracking, when the fisher coming inside the MPA, there will be an alarm. So the alarm will send it to the MPA management unit. So hopefully it can help on the compliance. Yeah, thanks.
We got another one and two.
I have a question for Kelly. Just would like to know more about how the fish, the bycatch is assessed. Is it assessed by eye or AI? And what do you think AI will be able to do to make those assessments accurately?
To understand your question, you mean how are the fish counted? So they are counted again on the boat. EM is ensuring no salmon are discarded so that they're all retained. Same on the tenders. The cameras are there to ensure that no salmon are discarded. And then at the processing plant, they're manually being counted by observers during offload. So I think, yes, the use of AI, it's very cumbersome and time consuming for a trained biologist to sit there and watch during the offloads to make sure all the salmon are being sorted out. So we are, again, helping develop the algorithm to speciate salmon as well using AI, and hopefully we'll be able to deploy that in the future to free up the time of the observers in the plants.
One more here.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, this question, because I'm a fisherman, so my question to people who are working in the remote areas. Fishermen go where the fish is. So we don't care about marine protected areas at that point because we are investing money and going to the sea. So at that point, wherever is the fish, we go and do it. So my question is, in case if I remove the vessel tracking system or anything, how do you monitor that?
Thank you. Yeah, most of our location is remote, but the tools that we use, as long as they can get a free access to the satellite, the tools still working. And if we don't have the kind of tools, maybe like a traditional mark, the local authority installing some of the signboard explaining the border of the MPA itself. So, and also a lot of socialization and public consultations done before we establish the MPA. So I think engaging with the local community also is the key to manage the marine protected area. Thanks.
Any more questions?
Thanks again for your talks. Harlisa, I was just curious, we've had some other technologies in Indonesia presented this week, and I was just wondering if there's an effort in country or broader to kind of collaborate and share lessons and just see if you can work together on anything. Thanks.
Yeah, we have a lot of opportunity to sharing one of technology that we use in each organization, and in each year, the government also invite us like annual meeting, annual meeting held by government, and they invite some NGOs to share their lesson learned from the tools that they use, and after that, we have like further discussions for more collaborations, and of course because we work in several fisheries and different issues, so there will be a cross learning each other, and yeah, we are very open for collaborations.
Any more? Can I ask question? Just to Sarah. It's amazing to see how your application grows, but my question is about interoperability, because many of traceability cannot live at silo. So any requirement or work or even strategy on this area, interoperability?
This is a great question for the tech team. But yes, so we have application program interface interoperability. We can plug into existing systems, we can share data, raw data, or we can also share process reports depending on the client's need. Yes, we do recognize that interoperability is very important when it comes to traceability. So not only on the upstream side with existing clients being able to inject their data into our system, but then we can also supply data downstream to supply chain actors as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Going once? All right, well, thank you, everybody. Please give our panelists a hand, and we'll see you after the coffee break.
Oh, I forgot to do that to my team. You should do that at the beginning so I can inspire.